Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. There. Don't feel bad. I know. It'll be okay. Don't worry. You'll still do okay here when your replacement gets announced. Oh, iPad 2, 64 gigabyte 3G version. You have served me well over this past year, but I'm kidding. I'm not going to throw away my iPad. I don't even think I'm going to sell the iPad 2. I've been really happy with it. And it makes a great computer to go around town, walk around the house, keep in front of you. I may actually use it during this particular live broadcast. So we're here to talk about the iPad 3 announcement, which is happening live right now in San Francisco, which is exactly where I'm not. At this moment in time, it looks like Tim Cook is out. I've got the Nomies behind me. I also have you there on YouTube and watching the comments as you're posting them as well. There are a few places I'm watching in terms of the live announcement because, again, I'm not there. And I don't think Apple's streaming this either, sadly. But I'm watching The Verge. I'm watching Engadget. I'm watching Gizmodo. I'm watching Gadget. Not Engadget, Gadget, GDGT. They're all really fantastic resources, which I'm sure many of you already know about. So let's go ahead and see what's going. Now, I know typically with Apple announcements, they start off by saying, "We've made tons of money." Ha 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 ha. This is usually how it goes. Of course, this is Tim Cook's first iPad announcement. So we shall see if that they stay to form. I'd imagine they will. I can't imagine they're going to stray from that because they have to tell us how successful the iPad has been. And then they'll roll into the series of announcements. Oh, wow. Oh, we've already got 13 Android users watching. But we have at least 43 people who've liked this video, so certainly we appreciate the support from those of you who actually care about what's going on. For those of you who don't, I would ask, why are you wasting your time on something you don't care about? That's crazy. It's crazy talk. Again, looking at the live blogs, they're just kind of rolling into it. And here's a damning quote. And this is from Tim Cook. We're talking about a world where the PC is no longer the center of your digital world. Sounds like a shot across Microsoft's bow. Now, that being said, I have to show you, I don't know if you're going to be able to catch this in the corner of the screen. Can you see that over there in the preview? I don't know if you can. I've got Windows 8 Preview running inside of Parallels. It's super, super simple install, so I'm not trying to hate on PCs. Windows 8, I think, is going to give the iPad a run for its money, and I've said that before. Now, Tim also just noted we have 3 post-PC products. Boy, they're just putting a nail in the coffin of the PC there. The iPod, the iPhone, and the iPad. And this is something that I know many people are interested in, at least in our community, because they're generally people who like computers. And I've said that these devices are computers. Even if they're not a traditional personal computer, doesn't mean that they're not a personal computer at all. They certainly are. They allow you to compute on a personal basis. So apparently, iOS, according to Tim, or I guess Apple, has made up 76% of the revenue in Q4. Now, if that doesn't tell you the states that Apple's in relation to the rest of the industry, nothing will. That's money brought in from these computers, not the typical desktop computers that you and I have both known and loved, well, for some of us, most of our lives. Thank you, Cool Secret Spy, for Google Plusing this video or plus 20 the video. You can do that as well. You simply press the like button if you're watching it on the video page, and then you plus 1. It's easy to do. Super, super simple. So I'm looking here at the comments on YouTube. Hi, Chris. Thanks for your time now with covering this news today. iPad 3, yay. Well, we don't know. Now, there's been a lot of rumors floating around, and I'm not one to spread rumors, so I've not really talked much about this next-gen iPad, which is fair to call it that, until they actually say this is what it's called. So if you thought PCs were still alive, Apple Apple believes they're dead. And I don't think Macs are going to go away, although Macs do make a lot of money. They're a great PC to have because, when you install Windows on a Mac through Boot Camp, it's a clean experience. It's not like a typical PC OEM where they install a whole bunch of crap on top of it, which most geeks will go around and uninstall right away. This is pretty big news, and I think they're going to be tilting towards really getting people past the idea that you have to be tethered to a typical mouse or a keyboard, or maybe even a touchpad, moving people more into the touchscreen arena, that you no longer tethered to one machine, many machines. And this is the way they're going, even with Mountain Lion. 172 million Apple post-PC devices sold in 2011. Boy, they are hammering that point home. Wasn't it just a few short years ago that the whole campaign was I'm a Mac and I'm a PC? Well, now they're basically saying PCs are dead. Not me. Do not shoot the messenger. I've long believed that we need to evolve past the idea of these things being computers and more to the idea of pocket computers like smartphones, because they allow you to run software, there's hardware, and an operating system. By definition, that's a computer. And the people I know who are freaking out about this are typically the gamers. Well, there are a lot of games available for other platforms beyond Windows. Maybe not the ones you want, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist. In fact, there are more casual gamers in the world than there are hardcore gamers. It really truly are. I mean, look at the numbers of people who have purchased games like Angry Birds. That's a casual game, and it's available on many platforms. So let's go ahead and take a look here. The blogs are... I see. Right now, apparently they're showing a video behind the making of the Grand Central Apple Store. That will be a big store there. Dang. Boy, they must have paid a lot of money. But you know what? They've made a lot of money, too. So for anybody to say that, the iPad, the next iPad is going to be a failure, they would have to make some, I would say, monumental changes in every way. Not just with pricing, but with the hardware and the software experience altogether, if that was to be a fail. And I don't think it's going to be a failure. Look at every iPad that was released, even from the first one, and everyone said, "Oh, it's going to fail because it's not a netbook and it's not a notebook." Well, we don't know what it is yet. I mean, we know it's probably going to look a lot like this. I don't believe any of the rumors, dude. That's the one thing I got to underscore on this thing. I get so upset with the morons who spread rumors about this stuff. They set the stage for disappointment. Oh, it's going to have 15,000 gigawatts of power. What? Where do you get this stuff? Rumors, bad. You should slap people who try to spread rumors. It wasn't fun in high school. It's not fun in the real world either. So maybe that video will be uploaded at some point. And Gizmodo's got a great little animated GIF of a woman filing her nails, like just boring. Like, get to the meat of it. Okay, we know you made money, Apple. We got it. We know you're building stores. You're doing awesome stuff. Get on with it. Yeah. As Gizmodo also notes, Apple's videos always do a great job of reminding us that Apple employees and executives love Apple's products. Get it. Okay, now we're on to iOS. Yay. There we go. I'm looking here. I'm scanning through. iPhone, iPad are based on iOS, and we've now sold an astonishing 315 million devices through last year. Total last year. 62 million in Q4 2001. Tim's talking about Siri now, which is good. Although, honestly, I gotta tell you, I haven't used Siri as much as other people might have used Siri. Maybe I'm just waiting for it to not have to make me repeat myself over and over again. There's still a few kinks to work out. Is TLDR on later? As I said yesterday, yes. Come on, it's business as usual. It's just when there's an Apple announcement, Everybody has to stop what they're doing and listen. Even if you don't want to listen, you can't stem the tide. Now, they're going on and on about Siri. Great. So hopefully we'll hear some updates for Siri. And I think that will be nice. Oh, they're announcing Japan today. So anybody in Japan, let me check lockergnome.com stats. If you guys are viewing any of the articles on lockergnome.com, your country would count, as we do with every TLDR episode. And hopefully you guys watch the TLDR episodes or any of the episodes that we broadcast on a regular basis, which we'll be doing again today. Probably covering this again. Although we do have some Windows 8 stuff to talk about today as well. Just not in this video. Okay, let's keep it focused to the announcement at hand. But I gotta wait for them to talk about how great Siri is. Let's see here. Now many of you have heard what Siri sounds like in the U.S., but we thought it might be fun to let you listen to Siri from other parts of the world, like Australia or France or Germany. So apparently there are different accents. And now languages, because we don't speak German or French or Japanese. We speak Spanish around here, though. One time, Diana handed me her phone, and she still had it in Spanish mode, and I was like, it kept autocorrecting words that didn't exist. I'm like, and she said, oh, it's in the Spanish keyboard. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. It was kind of funny. Siri in Japanese is a part of iOS 5.1. It's available today. It's kind of nice. iOS 5.1. Diana likes to troll Chris. Yes. That would be the number one way to troll me, is to flip my keyboard layout. At 10:08 p.m., or I'm sorry, a.m., I'm off coffee now for a couple of weeks, and I'm still kind of logy. Tim was quoted as saying, now you can't talk about the post-PC world without talking about the App Store. Every operating system has to have an App Store now. Windows 8 is going to have an App Store. iOS, of course, has an App Store. Google Play, now, being the former Android market merged with Google Music, just released yesterday. Kind of cool. We did talk about that briefly during the Locker Gnome Daily Report on YouTube yesterday. Ed's computer support, that is one way, but that's not that's just one place. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, no need to share links over and over again. Let's see here. Kind of wait. Not really saying much. Yeah, they're talking about apps. Duh. It's simple, it's elegant, it's automatic, it just works. Well, that's true, and he's talking specifically about iCloud. Keeps all your content synced across all your devices. That's Apple's big story, and I knew that was the case with the announcement of Mountain Lion, or the next iteration of OS X on the desktop. They're going to show your experiences, not usability, but your data synchronized between your iPad, your iPhone, your Mac, and you're thinking, well, what about Windows? Well, yeah, there's an iCloud conduit for Windows as well. So if you have Windows and an iPhone or an iPod Touch, you could play almost as nicely as you could within Apple's universe. But really, this is Apple's game, and right now they're ruling the roost. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily fault Google for not supporting something from Apple. You shouldn't fault Apple for not supporting something from Microsoft if they decide not to. A new Apple TV, apparently. And with iCloud, of course, you're able to re-download movies you purchased on any device, and movies, TV shows now support 1080p. Yay! So there's the real announcement with the next Apple TV. 1080p, streamlined new user interface. Still not a basic iOS interface, notes, and gadgets at this point. Let's move that there. Yep, new Apple TV. 1080p, that's the big one. Oh, now they're going to demo it. I cannot show any photos because, again, I was not given permission by any of these websites. I can talk about it because all I'm doing is quoting them. So welcome, Joe. They apparently heard you laugh in the background. Dad's here.
Good mic.
Yeah, the mic picks everything up. Oh, okay, that's an interesting interface. It's slightly updated. I don't know why they haven't gone with an iOS type of interface on Apple TV, honestly, with this refresh coming in. assumedly the OS will be will allow you, if you have the current gen Apple TVs, to flash to it when it's available. Ultimately. Any other things? I'm just noting. Sorry, I'm like looking at like 3 different chat rooms. Oh, you can also get your iTunes playlist from iCloud right on here too. Okay. Big billboard images for movies. That's nice. That's, again, according to Tim. It's you guys are probably following along on your own and providing your own color commentary. Do you like to hear your voice that much? I don't know. Well, are you going to do this? Asshole. 213 likes, though. That's a good thing. I cannot pull in any audio, anything that's not official. And I'm pretty sure Apple's not streaming this in any official way. They haven't done it, and that wasn't announced at any point. So if you're listening to it, it's slightly pirated, which I'm not going to support. Naturally, photos are pushed here directly, pulled straight from the ether. Third-party apps are easier to get to as well. So like the NHL, PhotoStream, the apps specifically on the new Apple TV interface. Flipping through movies now, not that exciting. The icons are rectangular in form, which is probably for legibility, especially considering that you're sitting across the room for something. You want to be able to see what it is that you're browsing. Yeah, it's definitely a refresh. Interesting too. It looks like, according to a screenshot on Gadget, Vimeo and YouTube are there. Apple seems to be wanting to get away from YouTube, but they're not cutting off their nose to spite their face. I mean, by supporting Vimeo, that's pretty much what they're doing. They're saying go to Vimeo to get video. Forget Google and YouTube, but you can't ignore YouTube. It's a juggernaut. I mean, take a look at this video itself with 81 trolls and 248 people who are actually interested in what's going on. Poor people. They feel so sad that their tablet sucks. Sorry. Took a while to buffer, it was noted, so I don't know if... God, that's the one thing I gotta tell you. With any of my wireless devices, or even wired devices, certainly, minimizing the buffering, that's a big deal. I mean, how many times have we sat down to watch something on Netflix over a wireless network and then just had to wait, or it paused? On an Apple TV or on a PC, it doesn't matter. I mean, it was just buffer. Yeah, that could be likely related to network congestion, but I can't imagine that these software experiences couldn't mitigate those problems better. Yes, and again, to clarify, iOS 5 is available or will be available today. What it will bring is likely a handful of tweaks. Genius now works with movies too. Whoa. Sorry, I'm flipping back and forth between all these. That's the new Apple TV, and we think you're going to love it. Well, they haven't said if it's hardware or software experience. Okay, apparently now, a few seconds ago, according to Tim, on Engadget, it's time to talk about iPad. So we are ready for today's, what is likely the main event. Now, that being said, so the Apple TV is probably just a software update. Cool. Because certainly the hardware can support 1080p. And we've known that for quite some time. When the big question was, well, why doesn't Apple support it? According to Apple, they think the iPad is the poster child of the post-PC world. Oh, wait a minute. I take that back, what I said about Apple TV. It says the new Apple TV retains the same low price at $99 and is available next week. Get your orders in starting today, and I'd encourage you to do that. So apparently, that is not going to be a software update, but that is going to be a hardware revision. Okay, so here we are with the iPad announcement. Yeah, of course, they got to build it up. The momentum behind the iPad has been iPad. They don't call it the iPad. They say iPad has been incredible and has surprised virtually everyone. 15.4 million sold in the last quarter. Not just shipped, but sold. And that's the thing. If you got envy, you got to look at not just what was shipped, but what was sold. That's a few. 15 million. Nobody could count that high on their own. That's more iPads than any PC manufacturer sold PCs. HP sold 15.1 million PCs total in the same quarter, though we're not sure the source of those numbers. And this, again, that's according to Engadget. Quoting PC World, Tony Bradley saying, it's hard to imagine a time without it being the iPad in this instance. So the iPad, or I should say iPad, as Apple says iPad, they don't say the iPad. iPad sold as much as HP in terms of a personal computer. I'd say it's a pretty good personal computer. So anybody would say that Apple doesn't sell as many personal computers. Come on, guys, catch up. This isn't 1995 anymore. It's what's the year? 2012. Gotta grow up a bit. Just saying. And you know what? An Android tablet is a PC. An Android smartphone is a PC. I consider them PCs. I really genuinely do. Just because you can't do the same thing on one computer that you can on another doesn't make it any less of a computer. Tim on stage says, we said that in order to basically create a new product in a new category, they're basically saying that's what people wanted. And that's pretty much what they gave them. How many iPad owners here in Nomi's, the Nomi's chat room? Do we have I think we have a few iPad owners here. A few Android users. Dad, you don't count. Dad's an iPad owner. You guys saw his iPad where he has sticky notes all over it. You're doing it wrong. Oh, yeah. Apparently, well, according to their polls, people like the email functionality on the iPad. Well, it is pretty simple. You pull it up, you swipe, you do your typing, and you're done. It's a great way to read, great way to share. It is, and it's simple. And of course, they're demonstrating Infinity Blade 2. That's like the game on at least iOS. I think it's a universal binary, so when you buy it once for like $6 or $7, it plays on all the iOS devices natively. Now, part of the reason, quoting, the incredible in terms of the success of iPad is the incredible bundled apps with over 200,000 apps that have been custom built for the big screen. So 200,000 native apps for the iPad screen, not just here. I could probably take off the smart cover here, although there's not really anything exciting to look at on my screen. Not just apps that run, but apps that run natively in the screen. And I gotta tell you, I've tried a lot of apps, and I know they try to wow us with 200,000. I would say of the 200,000 native iPad apps, like in terms of form factor, 100,000 of them suck, even at the price of free. So, I mean, it is an important number. It's a good number, but keep in mind, just because there's 200,000 doesn't mean you would want to run that many. I would say you'd be lucky to find 200 that you really, really, really liked. And a whole bunch more PR. And they got to do it, right? Because they're doing this for their shareholders, too. 100 plus tablets launched in 2011. 100 plus tablets. So the question is how does the iPad stack up against those other tablets in terms of not just shipped, but sold? That's curiosity. Here they are looking at Twitter on a Samsung tablet, they say generically. Now, someone here on Engadget notes it's the Galaxy Tab. It kind of looks like a blown-up smartphone app running on a tablet, and that's exactly what it is. See, that's the thing. I mean, you could have a big screen, but if the app isn't optimized for that big screen, it takes away from the experience, really. I mean, when you've got an app that's optimized for a screen this big and you try to blow up to this big, usability. Man, talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Samsung products are decent. They are. The new one of their newer touchscreen PCs ran Windows 8 consumer preview rather well when I was in the Microsoft store the other day. Yeah, he was making a pretty good point there, and specifically talking about those optimized applications. Quote, the key. This is a key reason why momentum in the iPad continues to build and the competitive tablets aren't gaining traction. And that's true. And in terms of that, to back that up, if I pop over here, oh man, it's already been pushed off the screen. It was talking about no other tablet has gained traction. There was a quote on Tech Meme, and I can't find it. Yeah, it's already off of Tech Meme altogether. Great. Okay, well, that worked. Everything's iPad right now. Microsoft stores are actually pretty neat. They've obviously have Apple envy, but they're pretty neat. Oh, here we go. Today we're announcing the new iPad, and it's amazing. We are redefining the category that Apple created with the original iPad. Hang on. I see a camera, but I don't see a button in their screenshot, guys. They got a white iPad, and there's no button in that image. I do not see if... Wait, hang on. No, I don't see one. We'll see if the photos keep updating. So there may be no actual button on this iPad. It makes amazing improvements on the most fundamental features. That it's according to them. Let's see here. You want to know about the new iPad? Apparently you do, because you wouldn't be watching this if you didn't. Oh, I'd be shocked. 101 trolls and 295 likes for this video. Thank you for the likes on this video, guys. I appreciate it. And to like the video, you just click the link to go over to the videos page itself, the one that I shared on Twitter and Facebook. Okay, it's true. Retina display. So the display on the iPad it's been nice, but now basically it's going to be twice as sharp. Well, they probably have a more mathematical exact calculation, but everything is going to be sharper, whether it's graphics or text. So that may be a reason you'd want to upgrade. I don't think that's a great reason to upgrade if you currently have an iPad 2. It's nice if you don't have an iPad yet to have a Retina display. And if you've ever seen one phone against another, despite the size of the screen, take a look at the pixel density, and it does make all the difference in the world. I mean, the difference between an iPhone 3GS and an iPhone 4 is pretty dramatic in terms of the quality that you have, like right there, and you can definitely see it. It's noticeable. So it stood to reason that they would go with the Retina display, and all those rumors were true. Although they may have been unfounded. Anybody could have guessed. Well, they've done this, they've done this, they've done this. It'll ship with the Retina display. It was a guess. Nobody else has done that. That's for sure. Photos are just going to look amazing on the gorgeous high-resolution display. See, and then he's demonstrating, he's showing the differences, really. And it won't be that difficult for, really, your naked eye to see the differences between an iPad 2 screen or an iPad 1 screen and this new iPad screen as well. It's pretty sharp. There are pretty big differences in terms of that. But, again, not necessarily the reason you would sell your iPad 2. So, apparently right now, most ever in a mobile device, 3.1 million pixels. That's 2048 by 1536. Wow. That's, twice. 2 times as many. So he's comparing that to a 1080p display at 1920 by 1080, which would seem small now, somewhat. At least in terms of the 1080 part of the resolution. So you're matching a 1920 by 1080 or a 1080p screen or display to a 2048 by 1536 pixel density. That's a lot of pixels. It'll definitely pack a punch. And so they're showing you get a little more. Oh, wait, hang on. In this screenshot, I see the button. Sorry, guys. I hate to disappoint everybody out there. I see a button.
Yeah, they saw it.
Did they see the button too? Yeah, I saw it. Well, the white one, I was like, wait a second. 264 pixels per inch. For the iPhone 4 held at 10 inches, you can't distinguish the pixels. Yeah, 264 ppi, pixels per inch. Pretty dense. So they're showing you the mathematics of it. So holding an iPhone 10 inches away from your eye, you wouldn't be able to perceive the pixels. They're saying they've brought the same type of retina display technology to a much larger screen. Much larger. 40% better color saturation than before as well. Okay, that's interesting. And in case you're wondering, there is a physical button there, so it looks like Engadget had noted that as well. I didn't think I saw one in the screenshot, but it was difficult to see with the photo that was uploaded from that resource that I've been watching. 1 million more pixels than an HD TV, a 1080p HD TV. A5X processor confirmed, quad-core graphics. If you guys love gaming, it's a big deal. Yep, it's a fast one. It's fast. Wonder how they've done with battery life, because battery life for the iPad 2 has been pretty decent. The A5X processor has been designed for Retina display. So the thing is you might have a big screen, but can the graphics processor keep up with it? Are graphics laggy? One of the reasons that Android has suffered from stuttering is largely because of the way they designed the threading, not giving the graphics priority. When rendering something, it does it all, in a traditional PC way, and that's why graphics tend to be a bit smoother in terms of the way they move on an iOS device compared to an Android device. And until they fix the architecture and get apps to be re-optimized for the new architecture, Android's going to continue to suffer despite how fast the graphics chip may have from stuttering and jerkiness. That's just science. That's not me saying it. Next feature, the iSight camera. Now we all know that the iSight cameras on the iPad 2 weren't that great, but you know what? Despite having it, a camera, how frequently do you use the camera? I mean, we use it for FaceTiming, but really that's about it. I mean, you could always be nicer, but I don't use the camera on the iPad as much as I thought I would. It's exciting, certainly. You think, oh, we need a camera, but did you really use it? How many people had an iPad 2, rarely use the camera? I mean, they're nice. This is good hardware. This is a good experience. Do you use the camera?
Just FaceTime.
No, FaceTime's about it. Honestly, having the camera there doesn't mean much. Nice to have. Again, nice to have. Oh, thank you, everybody, for combating those trolls. We appreciate the 369 likes. That's the only way to combat trolls, really. Okay, so it looks like they're going with a 5-megapixel backside illuminated sensor, 5-element lens, IR filter, and ISP built into the A5X chip. So they're talking about, let's see here. So, auto exposure, autofocus. Yeah. They're talking about the same setup as an iPhone 4S, basically. Okay. So now you're going to be able to take just as good a quality images on an iPad as you would on an iPhone 4. But how many times have you taken a photo with your iPad? Just think about that, folks. I mean, it's nice to have. But again, I'm not seeing any insane reasons that you'd want to upgrade. Faster, yes. Better graphics, yes. Better saturation, yes. Denser display in terms of PPI. Better cameras, but the iPad 2 is just fine. I mean, it's just fine. That doesn't mean that I'm not. I feel I'm a pundit. Yes, I am going to upgrade, but I'm probably not going to sell this thing. The iPad 2, there's nothing wrong with this. And there's nothing wrong with the first generation iPad either. So it looks like they're browsing through photos. Wherever you are, you've got a great camera built in to record a full 1080p video with. I've recorded maybe 2 videos. Maybe it was because the camera wasn't awesome. But I honestly, I just don't. It's a little awkward to walk around like this. I mean, you've all seen pictures of people doing this. They're obviously recording something. It looks kind of insane. So they're just demonstrating the videos. Third feature, 1080p video recording. Well, duh, especially if it's the same camera as what's on the iPhone 4.
No port.
What's that?
No port.
No port?
Like for a flash drive.
No, that's probably never going to happen. Because it's all about the cloud, pushing data to the cloud. So why would you need any kind of physical media? They're trying to move people past, where we were last week, So apparently there's a software stabilization, or at least, I don't know if that's in the chip or in software, but there is video stabilization. I wish they would bring that to photo taking, like just still image taking. 1080p video recording. They've also brought voice dictation, so it looks like Siri will likely be coming. If you're a fan of Siri, it looks like it'll be coming to the next iPad. Yeah, they said the iPad, like all great iOS devices, has a great keyboard. Now you'll see a new key on the bottom, a microphone, and you can do that by way. Well, I'm guessing because the microphone's there, or they've lit. Let me hang on just a second. Well, I'm gonna show you what if you hadn't seen it before. If you're in like a text message or a status update or something like that, let me just go to group SMS text message. The little microphone. There's a microphone icon. And now it's apparently going to be available in either 5.1 or specifically with the next iPad. So I'd imagine that's that A5X processor that's possibly helping make that happen. I may have jumped the gun by saying Siri, but I can't imagine them not bringing Siri to iPad. 5th feature, 4G LTE. Oh, they didn't say anything about Siri, so it makes me wonder. But it would stand to reason that they would bring Siri to it. I mean, that's what they love on the phone. I mean, you could be able to talk to your computer. I mean, on the iPad. Yep, 4G LTE. So, if you've been waiting for an LTE iOS device, this would be it. They've got a handful of flags: Japan, Germany, France. Looks like the UK and America. Next generation wireless coming in the iPad next generation. iPad 2 has 3.1 megabits per second on EVDO, 7.2 on HSPA, just to compare data. Is that enough to get you to upgrade? It might be, but I tell you, I was debating whether or not I was even going to get a data plan with. I never got a data plan with this 3G iPad 2. I don't know if I'm going to go that far and get a data plan for a 4G LTE. Certainly I found myself in situations where I wanted a better connection and 3Gs did not cut it. But think about this now. You've got potentially this is the iPad 2, but in the next gen iPad, whatever they're calling it, iPad 3 or iPad HD, I don't know because there's been rumors. Having your internet connection baked into your computer is going to make it easier for you to get to what you need to get to wherever you really need to get to it. So long as you're in a market that has LTE. And it's noted that this is AT&T LTE, by the way. And they're just showing, of course, that LTE is downloading things quicker than on 3G. Well, the question is how quickly are you going to burn through that data, man? You got the data there. Are you going to use it? I mean, I've really used my 3G on my iPhone this month. I'm like close to the 4 gig limit with AT&T. I'd be a little more concerned with a 4G connection because you can get through that a lot faster. They're looking at Vimeo right now, or pulling up, video and showing that it's certainly going to be faster. They switch over to Verizon LTE. That confirms both of those carriers, AT&T and Verizon LTE. So much like it was with the iPad 2. You're likely going to have to go to a Verizon store or order the Verizon iPad in conjunction with the AT&T iPad, specifically through those stores. Don't do what I did last time, and you might remember that video where I waited at an electronic superstore that only carried the Wi-Fi edition, and I wanted at that time the 3G edition, and I never used the 3G, so to me it was a waste of money. The 4G thing, that's somewhat interesting, because I do not yet have a 4G device, and certainly could use it possibly to tether other devices for faster internet connections when I'm on the go, or I can balance between one plan, like a 3G plan on a smartphone, or another. We'll see how that goes. Works out cheaper in the long term. Get the 4 gigabyte and tether it. Yeah, that's what I've basically done with the iPhone 8420. And now that we've got LTE on the iPad, it's probably spelling out that we're probably going to have LTE on the next iPhone. That's a guess, not a rumor. That would be the guess. Verizon, Rogers, Bell, TELUS, and AT&T will be the LTE partners, at least initially. We have other high-speed networks that they've mentioned all around the world, which is nice. Fast. I don't think anybody would complain. No, it's too fast. We need it slower. I don't think anybody would complain about that. I'm curious to know the plans, though, because I saved a fair amount of money by dropping because I used the iPad 3G connection for a while, and it was a waste of money. It was a total waste of money because I didn't use it. I really didn't use it. What may be interested in is using the iPad as a hotspot of sorts, depending, of course, on battery life and cost, but it's all speculative until we have those numbers sitting in front of us. See, we've got Nomies from all around the world, and I know you guys out in YouTube land are as well. But all will be 3G world ready, which is good news. Whichever one you pick up, you can roam anywhere around the world. There we go. The iPad can now be a personal hotspot too, if the carrier supports it. So now, instead of using tethering on your iPhone, if you have an iPad with you, you could use that as a tethering hotspot, and that may be worth it for data. So I may very well drop to a 2 gigabyte limit on the smartphone, on the iPhone, pay less money, and then pick up a 4G connection and tether from here and use the data from the iPad. Just something to consider. So you can balance those plans and potentially have a faster connection for anybody who might want to connect to it, whether you're connected to Wi-Fi or not. Because I would say we use 3G regularly when we leave the house. I would like to be able to, keep in mind that I would want to use a faster connection if I had it available. So there you go. Oh, so Siri was not announced with this. They've got the lineup of the icons: a Retina display, A5X processor, better cameras, HD 1080p video, the voice dictation, and 4G LTE. So they didn't mention Siri, which does surprise me, honestly. I don't know why we wouldn't see Siri or would want to see Siri on the iPad, just like we do have it on the iPhone. It's curious. That is a bit odd, and it could be contingent on the internet connection. Possibly think about that for a second, because the iPhone, you have to have a data plan, really, and the iPad can be just Wi-Fi, or just like the iPod Touch, that's Wi-Fi at this point as well. So it could be contingent on the data plan, really. 10 hours of battery life, still 9 hours on 4G. Dang, man. This is what they're saying. So battery life is still quite healthy. Very healthy. 10-hour battery life. That can get you through the day. And you know what? In real-world usage, and with the iPad, was it the first? I can't even remember if it was the first gen or the second gen. But I used it at a conference where it was data connected. I was doing things with it all day long. And at the end of the day, I still had 50% battery life after using it. So that was pretty solid. Let's go here. $499 for the 16 gig model. $4.99. It's 9.4 millimeters thin, weighing 1.4 pounds. Slightly heavier. $4.99 for 16 gigs. 32 gigs for $5.99. 64 for $6.99. Sorry, no 128 gigger yet. If you want 4G, and this sounds like it's the exact same way as it was before, $6.29, $7.29, and $8.29 for the different models. Just like, boy, honestly, they've kept with the pricing all along, same prices. So a better device, same prices. But that being said, if you have an iPad 2, you don't feel the need to rush out and get this new version of the iPad, whatever it's going to be called, because they haven't really said what it's going to be called. If you want one so badly, you'll be happy to know that the pre-orders start today. Yes! My God, great! So I can pre-order it. We don't have to wait in line. Suck a whole day out of our lives. That was horrible. That was a horrible experience. Available in US, Canada, UK, France, Germany, Switzerland, and Japan. By the way, thank you for the 412 likes on this live video. Really appreciate it. All launching on the same day. That's a big deal. All the stock apps have been updated and optimized. And this is according to reports. So now you'll be able to order one today. So you don't feel like you need to how many of you guys are going to upgrade? I'll get one. Yes, I will. Because, come on, dude. It's like Christmas for me here in the middle of the year. Although that's really more like my birthday is more like Christmas. But he noted that everything has been updated. So he says, as you remember when the iPhone 4 went to the Retina display, developers didn't have to do anything and their apps looked better. So there's probably going to be a bit more optimization needing to be done by developers. But existing apps will be scaled up and text will automatically be rendered in higher resolution. Nice. Hopefully that'll look good in person too. He says if the developer takes a little bit of time, they can do things with their apps that are mind-blowing. Oh, come on. That's PR. Mind-blowing? Come on. Really? Will Joe upgrade? Dad, are you going to upgrade? What are you thinking?
I just made some notes that I got to check some things out, like the 4G. I made that, and LTE.
Well, a lot of that's pricing too.
Well, the prices are the same, right? Pretty much.
Depends on what the carrier is going to charge. They didn't announce those. They only said this is how much it costs to get the device itself, not necessarily how much. I mean, I overpaid for the iPad 2 because I didn't use the 3G connection. My question to me, to anybody is, are you going to overpay to get the 4G connection and not use it? So you can save, quite a bit of money depending on how much space you have. And I use the 60. Every time Apple upgrades the amount of space that's available in the iPad or the iPhone, I use it all. Like I'm up to because I download apps all the time. So it looks like they're showing off a few new games. Namco's got a game called it's a flight sim game called Sky Gamblers. You might be interested in that, Dad. Mm-hmm. Still no name. They keep calling it the new iPad. I wonder if they're going to call it iPad 4G, because it's been iPad. It was iPad. Then it was iPad 2. So are they going to skip 3? I don't think they're going to call it iPad HD. That would whoever spread those rumors was. There's no way they're going to call it HD because they're saying it's better than HD. So why would they call it something that it's already better than what they'd be calling it? They're not Microsoft. What do you think?
You never know.
You never know. I don't know. That's a guess. Well, I wish you could see the video on this one because this flight sim looks pretty nice. Yeah, see, we all use these things to their fullest advantage or their fullest potential, potentially. Yeah, so it's difficult to share the demos because there's no live video anywhere. Hang on. Boy, see, the problem with a lot of these live blogs is they just stop. I mean, like, in terms of updating. So I'm looking here for new news. Pretty nice graphics. Boy, if you guys didn't think that the iPad was a serious gaming machine, I think with the Retina display, if you're a gamer, or if your office is constantly on the go, I would say that getting the next gen iPad would probably be suggested. If you're just an average person who does web surfing, email, a lot of it at home, I don't know if it's as compelling an upgrade. I gotta tell you. It was a big difference between the first gen iPad and the second gen, but I don't know about this third one yet. James is saying this is console quality. Again, this is a serious hit to PC gamers and potentially console gamers. The only place to truly experience the intensity of action, the richness of detail is on the iPad. And now they're going to show a demo of Autodesk, which is not a game. That flight sim game apparently is exclusive to iOS. So this could be a big game machine. I know people don't like hearing that because it means that they have to change everything. Sorry, it's called the future. Check into it. Oh, we're up to 456 likes. That's pretty good. Why don't we get that in the regular daily broadcasts? That would be nice. Just saying. Autodesk. He's this guy who's presenting is the product line manager for Sketchbook, which would probably give you an idea of about what you're going to be seeing next. Probably CAD, showing you that the graphics are very powerful enough to support computer-aided drafting and design. Yep, boy. And of course, we'll all want to see this in person too. See, here's the thing, every time you walk by an Apple store, unless you're so filled with hate, you have to walk in. It's like a playground. Like I tell you, the last time we were at the mall, there was nothing new to see. It's like, yeah, okay, have it. I own that. Yeah, I got that. If they had AutoCAD on the iPad, that'd be a big thing. Well, Autodesk, it would seem to me. Okay, so it looks like it's a sketching tool. Well, yeah, CAD would be amazing. But it looks like okay, I see. They're showing off Sketchbook right now. They haven't shown off Autodesk, or I guess AutoCAD or any kind of CAD. I mean, they're basically showing the sharper graphics, amazing detail. So if you do any kind of drawing on the screen on a regular basis, it may make sense that you get the next gen iPad here. Whatever they're going to call it. In Autodesk's 29-year history, they had over 10 million desktop computers. On iOS, they've reached tens of millions of users in 2 years. It's absolutely amazing. Introducing Sketchbook Ink focuses on line art. Okay, interesting. Whew. Sharp. Can export images greater than 100 megapixels. And it's resolution independent, so zoom in as far as you like. The flower he's drawing, he says, notes here on the Engadget, stays clean. And there's a new engine for ink that takes advantage of the incredible graphics power of iPad. So, it looks like it's vector. Retina display is luscious, as again, according to the person from Autodesk. It takes it to the next level and creates an immersive environment. Professionals and everyday artists are going to love the device. Yeah, and I know a lot of iPad artists out there. They take their iPad, they sketch, they're drawing with their finger, and they're doing things. Yeah, CAD 3D does take processing, but maybe we'll see it. Maybe. I guess this isn't it. This is just sketching. It could happen. Maybe we'll have to wait for the next iPad. Beyond this iPad, which is the next iPad. But it seems like they've pretty much covered everything that they were planning on showcasing. That app, by the way, the new Sketchbook Ink app is going to be available in April, exclusive to iOS. That's really, I mean, getting Apple getting exclusives. That's the reason they're up on stage, is because they are exclusive. Because they're probably not going to be very happy about showcasing a non-exclusive app that you can get anywhere. They're advertising, but they're advertising for Apple's platform. Yeah, you'll be able to watch the recorded event, not just this live video, not like anybody's going to rewatch this, but also the recorded event from Apple, as they've done it with every keynote. They'll record it, and then they'll upload it, usually later on in the day. Now we're going to see someone from Epic Games, Mike Capps. He's been on stage before. And I'm guessing what he has to show is epic. Pun intended. Alright. So, Infinity Blade Dungeons. Okay, so there's a new one in the series for Infinity Blade. You'll rewatch it? Well, thanks, Cool Secret Spy. That's one of them. That's one of you guys. You're on the quest to craft the ultimate weapon, the Infinity Blade. Yeah, so it looks like that. I don't know if this is really... Is Infinity Blade the killer game for iOS? I know a lot of people love the graphics. Like, it's breathtaking. I ended up getting Infinity Blade for free by using that Free My Apps thing that I told you guys about a few weeks ago. Remember the Free My Apps? You go to the go.tagjag.com/free apps, and you basically install the profile, and then you can generate points. And these points could be redeemed for these apps that you can get. I mean, normally you'd have to pay for them, but this time... Oh, I accidentally tapped the wrong button there. You can get those apps for free. So, like right now, Smart Alarm Clock, you could get for free. All the Angry Birds, Camera Plus, Plants vs. Zombies, Risk, Infinity Blade, as I said, Spider-Man, Pages, Keynote, and Numbers. Nothing really new there. But I ended up getting like Minecraft Pocket Edition, a couple Angry Birds, Real Racing 2, Smash Cop, Skyfire, Cut the Rope, Fruit Ninja, Infinity Blade 2, and Tiny Wings for free using that on my iPhone. Or you could also use the iPad for that as well. Ended up accruing a handful of points. That, by the way, go.tagjag.com/free apps. So if you wanted Infinity Blade, but you didn't want to pay anything for it, that's really the easiest way to do it. At least today. Yeah, see, only voice recognition. Oh, FMA isn't available in the UK? I'm sorry. Hey, don't get mad at me. Email them. Don't shoot the messenger, ever. So it looks like they've added HDR graphics and tone mapping in the new version here of Infinity Blade Dungeons. Said it, and this is a note here on Engadget. It's definitely a step up from the current Infinity Blade. With you can connect enemies for chain attack. Wow. The Unreal Engine is unleashing the power of the new iPad, and I believe the Unreal Engine is powering a few other things on iPad as well. He's saying this has more memory or screen resolution than either the Xbox 360 or the PS3. Something to note, console gamers. If you're all about power and specs and resolution, if truly this would mean that you'd be interested. More resolution. It's up to you. You know, don't get mad at me though. I mean, you can't say, well, no, it's not the Xbox. Well, no, it's not the Xbox 360 or the PS3, but it does have more memory available to it and better screen resolution. And I'm not one on specs. I'm really not. I really am not. And by the way, this is just new iPad. That's what they're calling it. I don't think that's going to be its name, though. Because next year, what are they going to call it? Well, it's newer iPad. Maybe that. But really, I mean, think about that. We hear over and over and over again, oh, specs. specifications, the hardware and the software. I'm like, no, dude, give a good experience. Give something that's clean, that just literally melts the hardware into the background like it's not even there. That's a good experience. That's how you know you've got something. Even if it had specs that didn't stand to today's standards, whatever those might happen to be, and that's usually relative. If it works well and gives you what you want, then don't let anybody tell you what could be better. But that's one of the reasons why I'm not really big on focusing on specs. I'm big on focusing on those experiences, and certainly with a higher resolution display, that could be some really good, as I said before, good gaming experiences. And it looks like if the games take advantage of it, it's absolutely true. There is also going to be a new crafting system called Dungeon Crafting. It's going to look like this, and they show it off, and they play it on the iPad. Pretty nice. Now there's a couple of screenshots of Apple's Office Suite keynote pages and numbers, which are universal, which means that they run natively on your iPad or your iPhone. And you can tell an app is universal in the App Store when there's a little plus with a little box around it in the App Store. 511 likes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So excited, says Hamster Buddy 2486 on YouTube. iPad isn't ideal for me to play games on. I like using a remote for gaming, preferably the Xbox remote for me. Well, this is kind of like a remote. I mean, it's not the same kind of like control. Hang on. I've got all these controllers under. It's not like this type of controller. You can, I believe there are controllers that you can connect by way of Bluetooth that act like these controllers for iOS devices. I believe I've seen those before. So iWork has been updated as well. Free update if you've already purchased. Likely upgraded to support a new Retina display on the iPad. Probably bug fixes. I mean, stands to reason. Thank you, Brian M. I love this. It's like we're getting double commentary. That's awesome. Or actually, triple commentary. This is a 3-dimensional. And see, now guys, at the end, don't tune out because at the end, well, actually, maybe we'll do this. Stay tuned for today's Locker Room Daily Report at 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific because we'll get my dad on here to give us his thoughts on what he heard today for the iPad 3 announcements. We'll get his thoughts, and I think you guys want to hear those. So if you watch this video, you want my dad's thoughts, and I know he's very popular. I know. GarageBand now has smart strings and note editor, and you can push to iCloud too. New sharing as well. Okay, so if you're into GarageBand and creating music on the go. I have GarageBand, and I've kind of tinkered with it, kind of like a drum kit, like do, but I'm not a musician. It's fun to play around with for me, though. I like those type apps like the K-Oscillator, which I did a review on. It was a while back, but now it's a universal application for the iPhone and the iPod Touch. If you just love listening and playing with sounds, the K-Oscillator on iOS is a good buy. That's a recommendation. So they're apparently watching 4 dudes play some jams with iPads today. Oh, okay, so hang on. Okay, so the GarageBand is that I think it's GarageBand. I think they said it's available the update would be available today. Unless I'm reading it wrong. Have you looked at the sample section yet? Samples? Sample section. Oh, no, on GarageBand, I guess I kind of loaded it a couple times, but I just don't have time. I wish. Chris, why is this video as seen on Mobile Arab? Because I'm very popular, apparently, in that region of the world. Because they link to it first. That's really, if you guys embed these videos or link to the videos, your website shows up there. So it looks like they have iMovie up now. Major updates to iMovie, storyboards, and new editing shops. Cool. Likely will be updated for iPads, the new iPads high resolution display. For the first time, you can do outlining and storyboarding, then record to 1080p and play it back all on the same device. Oh, cool! So what you can do, because typically for when you're building a film, you've got to storyboard it, right? And you take little note cards and you draw an illustration. Have you ever seen those things, when you're watching behind the scenes and you got the storyboard? Now you can storyboard and go tap and then record it on the iPad, and you've got it. That storyboard is now connected to the actual footage. So it's bringing it all full circle. So you got storyboarding, scripting, outlining, put together with the video recording itself. That's kind of neat. That's a nice update if you've ever storyboarded any kind of movie, film. That's pretty cool. That is pretty neat. And I'm not the only one. Family8626 said the same thing. He's pretty impressed with that as well. Just press the like button. That's when Demi something had just said. Thank you. I appreciate that. Make sure you come back for 3 o'clock. Yes? Oh, I didn't know. Are you watching the Nomies chat back here? Nice. Yeah, some pretty interesting screens. Does this mean I can no longer harsh on folks who shoot images, videos with gigantic 9.7-inch tablets? So there's GarageBand and iMovie. $4.99, free update if you already have it. Also available today. You gotta hand it to them, dude. That's pretty nice. If you already had iMovie, do you have it yet? Do you want it? I think I may be able to figure out how to get it because I can use the free my apps, and I don't know if I can transfer points, but I think I could potentially get that from the screen such that you could use it. Dad, I know you already have iMovie. Mm-hmm. Introducing iPhoto for iPad, and it's amazing. iPhoto for iPad. If you're someone like many of us who truly love photos they take with family and friends and want to do even more with photos, that's what iPhoto is for. The Apple Store is updating. Go figure. Because you'll be able, probably almost right away, we'll be able to turn around and order these new devices. It gives you new ways to browse through all the photos. It's a truly groundbreaking way to edit these photos. Well, that remains to be seen. I've been waiting for a good, mobile editor. I've not, to this point though, I have not used iPhoto to manage my images. Honestly, I just haven't. Maybe I just don't take enough of them, or just the way I have to organize them is just kind of, to me, just seems like a pain. Yeah, no one can wait to get in and poke around. That's for sure. New gestures, new effects, multi-touch editing, and you can beam photos directly between devices. This is probably, for iPad, it's probably going to be in the iOS update, I'd imagine. So now I'd be able to transfer between one and another. So if you had a photo on your phone, instead of mailing it to someone, you just go, doo-doo, and then beam it. Is it Bluetooth, though, or is it some other kind of connection? Because it'd be really neat if you could share with other people that you knew. So, even if we were completely all around the world, what we could do is automatically share certain photos with other people that way. I don't know if that's how it works, though, because I haven't seen it. Photo beaming, they said. Photo journals. Nice for people who take trips, so you got, categorized in one thing. Brushes. Professional quality effects. Multi-touch editing. Smart browsing. Wow. Could be a pretty good upgrade there, but no word on whether this is just for iPads, the new iPad here, or for existing versions as well with the update. Will new MacBook Pros be in this event? Asked Just Joseph. I doubt it. Just give her the Diana the code. Says DZ Slasher. I will. That's what I'm planning on doing. I asked if she had iMovie. I don't know if you'd use it. You don't really do much with video though. So he's showing off the user interface right now. A bezel gesture, very nice. Lots of shelves containing albums of photos. Just tap on one to bring the editing interface up. Swipe in from the side to bring a thumbnail view. It's talking about the reinvention of iPhoto, just giving us a demo. Well, I'd like to see an update on the desktop, to tell you the truth. That's getting long in the tooth. Just like iTunes. My God. Talk about an app that's ripe for reinventing. Just different ways of browsing photos. And of course, with the synchronization on iCloud, it makes it easy to take a photo on iPhone and then beam it somewhere else. My frustration is if I turned off a lot of that automatic syncing, because I would take like a series of 7 photos and get rid of 6 of them. I couldn't get rid of them on the other devices, but I think they've updated the iCloud software, or at least the interface, to allow for manual deleting of individual photos and videos. It would make sense, Brian. I would hope. To me, it makes sense. Whether it makes sense to Apple yet, I don't know. Terrell had a dream that he woke up and Apple redid their whole website. 50 more likes to 600? Where owed Joe in a cinnamon challenge during TLDR? No. Cinnamon challenge only counts when we get 300 likes during a live TLDR broadcast, not during one of these special broadcasts. Thank you very much. Ooh, you can now see EXIF data from iPhoto on iPad. That's cool. That's details about the camera that took the image, like the exposure and all that whatnot. This is a 12 megapixel photo from a Nikon D300S that they're showing. The app supports up to 19 megapixel photos. Do you guys have a 19 megapixel camera? Then you can flag the photos you like and view only those. Then share easily through email, Flickr, Twitters, and he says, and others too. God dang, man, why aren't they going to put Facebook there? I doubt they're going to put Google+, which is kind of disappointing. I like Google+. Maybe I'm the only one. On average, I guess people spend 5 minutes a month on Google+, compared to like 400 minutes a month on Facebook. I would not want to be Google right now. They're showing screenshots now. And assumingly you guys are watching as well. I hope you're not just watching my video. And I know at least 583 wait, is that 563? Sorry, I overspoke the likes. Did not mean to get ahead of myself. Down at the bottom, I'm going to tap Auto Enhance, so there's an Auto Enhance button. You notice the horizon line's not quite level. iPhoto will find the horizon line and analyze it. It can straighten your photos out for you. Wow. You can compare to the original version quickly. Oh, thank God. That's what I love. Like, when I'm doing photo editing, I want to flip between the original and the new one, like, easily, to see if I've made it really better. The speed is incredible. Noted on The Verge. Very high frame rate for editing photos. It's very important to note. I can edit photos on my PC. Yes, you can. But how fast is it? Cropping's quick and easy. Tap and then go back to the Untouch original. Very fluid and intuitive. You can't argue with the likes. People want to hear about Apple. They do. They really do. I mean, we talk about I even talked about different companies very positively, even in this one video. So how can you hate that? Well, you could. Because I was kind of ribbing some people, admittedly. honestly, if you guys, I mean, Windows 8, you guys wonder why Windows 8 is going to be the way it is? It's because of iPad. Think about what they did, guys. They're talking about a post-PC world. And what's Microsoft been? PC. Now, granted, they got the gaming console too, but they're trying to bring it all together. That's what I've been saying all along. The reason why Metro is going to be your interface for Windows is because that's where Microsoft's headed. Even Apple's headed that direction with apps. This is the future, guys. You may not like it, but I don't know what to tell you. Go to Linux if you want. That's an option. Windows 8 will give iPad a run for its money. It absolutely will. In terms of desktop or just computing experiences in general. Wow, iPhoto's got an interesting suite of tools there. It's part of iLife though, so it's an iPhoto app, so it's probably going to be available for like 99 cents or $5 on iPad. Probably. That's a guess, because right now it's just the Photos app. That's just a viewer, not iPhoto. He's using a lighten brush and using that you can brighten up a specific area of an image. Wow, that's easy. So imagine you got an image, you just want to edit a part of it, you can just edit a part of it with a brush. Yes.
It's on iPad?
It looks like it's right now just on iPad. I hate editing photos on here. I mean, other than a quick brightness or whatever, but editing photos on a screen this big, no way. Even on a screen slightly bigger, no. Give me a bigger screen. Is the iPad 3 going to be worth it? Depends, again, on what you want, what you need, what you use it for today. You know, if it's just browsing the web, no, it will not be worth it. If it's just checking email, no, it won't be worth it. If you don't really travel with it, no, it won't be worth it. If you're not really into hardcore gaming, no, it won't be worth it. If you don't use the camera a lot, no, it won't be worth it. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons that the new iPad is not going to be worth it for a lot of people. They'll still sell a lot, don't get me wrong, but I think this actually makes the iPad 2 much more enticing to people, because now it's last generation iPad. Harold wonders if this will be the last Apple TV before we see an actual HDTV Apple TV 72-inch running iOS. Well, it remains to be seen. They're getting there, but think about this, guys, for the future of television, and I'm not the first person to say this. Certainly, look at all the apps that are available right now in any app store, whether we're talking on, Google Play, whether we're talking on iOS or the iTunes App Store. I've got certain applications on here like Show Anytime. So I have a Showtime subscription through Comcast. I can watch Showtime movies here. I also have an HBO subscription as well. So I got all my primary entertainment through here. Netflix. I've got premium subscription services for media, ABC, CBS, NBC, The Daily Show, CNN, Crackle, Xfinity, TBS. The list kind of goes on and on. The bottom line is channels are becoming apps. Every app is going to be the channel of the future. Instead of tuning in and seeing what's on, you decide what's on. And think of a channel, right now, a traditional television channel, as an app. And then when you look at an app, you'll start to get a better idea of where Apple's likely going with the future of television. Because that's where television's going with the future of television. Every station is an app. So they're still demoing the new iPhoto. And it looks like if you take a lot, and see, I don't really take a lot of images for collections. I don't have a lot of collections of images. I don't take a lot of photos, probably as much as I probably should. Take a lot of photos to upload them to Instagram, kind of like one-offs, but I don't really have albums, really. Maybe we'll make an album this weekend, though, hon. The honeymoon, they make an album? No? Are you watching a site, too? What are you watching?
Engadget.
Oh, Engadget? You seeing anything that pops out at you?
Yeah.
What pops out at you?
A I mean, there's a lot of nice things. It's still not over, so.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to pull anything out of their hat. A lot of people asking the same questions that we've answered on the live stream, so can't really address those. Sharing options, iCloud, slideshow, iTunes. And they said iPhoto for iOS. So will it be universal? Will it be available in iOS outright or available in the App Store immediately? I have a feeling we're going to find out in a few seconds. You can push those things out to iCloud. That's pretty nice. Including maps, notes, weather, dates. Kind of neat. If you do a lot of... Oh, yeah, there we go. Priced $4.99, figured, and available today. So I think we'll be downloading iPhoto later. You can get it right now. So you can get it. You can get it for your iPad, hon. Pretty cheap, too. $5 software to do all that. You may already have a photo editor, but maybe this one's better. How do you know? If you haven't tried it, you don't know. Those look nice, and I tell you, editing photos on a touchscreen device is far more intuitive than editing it on a computer screen. That is for sure. Now at 11:13 a.m., Tim notes, or I'm sorry, no, it's Phil notes, we've brought all of iLife to the iPad. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't create on an iPad. Simply not true. Many of us have known that for quite some time. So a lot of evolutionary upgrades, nothing truly revolutionary, at least to this point, and that may very well be it. Confirmed, no new dock connector, same port as shown, stands to reason. So if you can't tell by now, this is quoting, and this is from Gadget, we absolutely love the new iPad and the software it runs. When we absolutely love a new product, we create a video for it. Duh. Okay, so it's going to be video time. They're going to be playing a demo. And this video is probably going to be available to watch on the website here within a very brief amount of time, as soon as they upload it. It's like a big, long commercial showing what you can do with this new iPad, whatever it's going to be called. We don't know. That's the big question, really. It wasn't even a question of anything else. No, they didn't say anything, Zarlak. They just said it's new iPad. New iPad. That's all we know. Boy, this is a long demo, or long one. This is an hour 15 minutes. Dang, dude. This is longer than TLDR. I gotta do another one of these things today? Yeah, wait, it's available today. It's probably not available yet. Hang on, let me see. I don't think it's available yet. Let's find out. I don't think it's going to be available immediately. He just said today. Probably later. iPhoto. Search. They said third generation iPad? But that's not what they're calling it.
It was just coded.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we knew it was a third gen. Dang, it's not available yet. Not like I'm going to sit here refreshing. The store itself is still closed. iPhoto. There should be a download iLife in the App Store. They have each one individually. There was no iWork package. I mean, they had a page for it where you can get the 3 apps there. I like how you just keep saying dang. Well, didn't realize I was saying dang. True RGB, no surprise, with the circuitry actually dropped below the subpixels to minimize dot pitch. So it's going to be clear. The clarity is going to be almost like print, essentially, with a Retina display on the iPad. It's almost like print. So it's faster, but it's got a better battery life. Again, it's a big deal if you're a gamer. It's going to make some other nuances faster, but I just don't see this as a must upgrade for everybody. If you want it, sure. If you got the cash to burn, sure. No accessories announced yet. What accessories would you expect? It looks like it's the same. I think it's a little heavier, but it seems that it would accommodate the smart cover just as easily as the current gen. Yeah, everyone's pasting the specs in on the YouTube videos. Oh, I don't know if we heard if Bluetooth is 4.0, just like iPhone 4S. Just as it's certainly there is Bluetooth, but it's always been that way. But just curious. Again, I have to ask with those cameras, like, how many times have you used those cameras? Never. Yes, that's what I thought. That is not a compelling reason to upgrade from a 2 to a 3. From a 1 to a 3, yes. Whatever they're calling it. Okay, so now the video demo is over. You should be able to watch it at some point today, assumedly, where they're showing off new features. iPhoto will be for iOS. He noted not just iPad, so it will be likely available for you today on your current gen iOS devices. And yes, I'd certainly recommend giving it a shot if you do anything with images or photos. Yep, still not seeing anything about a name yet. iPad 2 is staying on sale, $399, so it's dropped $100. Kind of nice. That's a 16 gig Wi-Fi only iPad 2, which is good. Like I said, so if you wanted to get the iPad but you didn't want to pay new iPad prices, a $399, brand new 16 gig model, that's pretty darn nice. And he's noting that more schools should be able to afford it. So it's called iPad 2 and the new iPad? Maybe they just haven't named it yet. But the graphics on the screen, from what I'm seeing on these screenshots, are iPad 2 and the new iPad. That's the differentiation. A little odd. The new iPad. Okay, that's it. It's called the new iPad. It's a little bizarre. What's going to be the next new iPad? We've redefined yet again the category that Apple created just 2 years ago with the original iPad. Okay, get us to the name. We are so proud of the product that we prepared an ad. I'd love to play it for you. Well, thank you for playing us another ad. I mean, I guess this whole thing has been a freaking ad. The newer iPad. Yes, that's the one I'm waiting for. The newer iPad. The next new iPad. iAd. There, you want to talk about flop. So now they're showing a commercial in front of people who already want to buy it. It's a captive audience.
Do they name it in the commercial?
They might. They seem to be holding that. I don't know if that's the big thing. Its name. I'm still worried that they're going to call it the new iPad. They won't call it the new iPad. They got to call it iPad something. They have to. Yeah, they do. They have to. Because what are they going to call it? Then everything else. I don't want an old iPad. What's not new? It's old. I still love my old iPad. This is sticking around, dude. There's nothing wrong with the 3 or the iPad 2 at all. At all. Okay, I think that's it. 2012. There's a lot to look forward to. That's it. It's called the new iPad. So it's going to be the iPad 3rd generation. The new iPad? Seriously. That's it. The new iPad. Are they nuts?
I miss Steve Jobs.
Wow. Diana says, I miss Steve Jobs. No doubt. Steve, I can't imagine him not arguing with that one. The new iPad? Why would they call it the new iPad? Are they trying to get away from naming conventions? So instead of tripping people up with, iPad this, iPad that, iPad the other thing, are they trying to look past and say, it's just the new iPad? So the next year, we'll have the new iPad. And everything else will be previous generation. You know what I'm saying? They won't rename it. They're just going to be calling it iPad. Just like, okay, so bear with me. They call it a MacBook, not a MacBook 2, not a MacBook 3. So maybe they're starting to do that with the phones and the iPads. I guess it's... the new iPad is pending for renewal deletion. Interesting.com. The new iPad. I would not want to get into that game, but that apparently is it. Thank you, everybody, for all the likes you guys have done. We almost made it to 600, which would have been a nice thing to see. But thank you for tuning in to this broadcast. We have, in a few short hours, our regular TLDR, the Locker Room Daily Report, where we cover more of industry news and reviews and how-tos. I have Windows 8 installed for the first time. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. Because I've given you my thoughts already, but in terms of using it for the first time, seriously, if you guys would want to stick around, don't just keep your browser window open. Go do something else. And at 3 p.m. Pacific, as we do every single weekday, come in, watch TLDR, or if you can't make the live broadcast, that's okay, because we record every single one of them. We, of course, clip out each individual segment. We appreciate every like, every share, everything that you do is really appreciated by us. When you visit LockerGnome.com, you comment on the articles. Remember, we're giving away one annual Nomies subscription for a year at the end of this week for the person who shares the most. And that's according to Diana. She's making the judgment call on that one. And today, you can also look forward to seeing my dad, Joe Perillo, join us on screen with his thoughts on the new iPad. Can't say iPad. See, dude, what'd I tell you? What'd I tell you about rumors? Oh, it's going to be called the iPad HD. Look who looks stupid now. Not the people who weren't spreading rumors. Apple.com is updated, so what are you guys waiting here for? We'll see you at 3 o'clock, or if not, in between at live.perillo.com, where we'll have commentary running in the TeamSpeak server, which you're more than welcome to join as a registered Nomi. Of course, we have the webinar tonight talking about mastermind groups as well, if you haven't registered yet for that, and the discounts on the Objective-C programming for all registered Nomis too. So with that, I guess we'll see you later.